Hello and welcome back to another episode of Almost Nerds.
We
How
have
you
missed you
doing, Ben?
guys. I'm pretty
I
good. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. I know it's been a while.
I know, but
It's
remember, we are people's number one inconsistent podcast.
it's
So
the best
yeah,
inconsistent podcast on the
yeah,
internet.
I
It
agree.
really is.
It
And we
really is.
can't we can't get consistent because then we're gonna get off message.
Exactly,
People are
exactly.
they put this out every week. People are gonna like that.
We can't be on brand.
No.
I so you got to be inconsistent with
Months
this
from
stuff.
now, they're gonna get that alert on their phone that episode 11 is dropping. They're gonna get it. Oh, I forgot about that shit. They're still alive.
Yep, yep.
But this is episode 10 now, right?
I
This
think
is
so.
episode
Episode
10.
10. Yep.
That's a milestone right there.
I think so. I think so. I'm
Yeah,
excited for it.
episode 10, and finally Thor Ragnarok. We waited so long. Another Thor movie came out.
Yes, and it was a really good Thor movie too, but we'll talk about that later. We're here to talk about Thor 3 and hopefully stay on topic and not talk about Mortal Kombat randomly like we usually
Yeah,
do.
well, no, I mean, just real quick. There's another one coming out. I haven't heard anything,
Yes,
so
there's
maybe
a
they stop that. I don't know. That's
no,
good.
there's
All
a
right,
number two still from my to my knowledge.
I
So
was hoping the pandemic killed that idea.
nope, not at all.
All right, well,
Yeah,
we'll get there. We'll get there. So Ragnarok,
yeah,
Ragnarok. So I have to say, I know we've been doing it's Marvel heavy by design on purpose,
yeah.
Marvel heavy. And I don't know, we might have to retool the whole idea after this because I don't think it gets any better than Thor Ragnarok. I feel like they
Ooh.
fucking nailed it, man. I feel like I know, and it might get better, and that's what makes it great. But
Mm-hmm.
man, this was by far the my favorite Marvel thing that I've come across.
Of everything, wow, that's
To this
that
point, I haven't seen everything yet. There's
gotcha.
still I
But
still
I mean,
got
of the things you've watched, because there's a lot of good things we've watched. But
yeah.
Thor Ragnarok is really good, though. I will admit that.
And I'll tell you why. All right.
Okay.
So it not only a great storyline, obviously, because you're continuing the Thor storyline, but
Mm-hmm.
the way that they mixed in humor in with just the regular great action and great fight scenes,
Yeah.
and then they built the side characters and then side plots and fucking side quests of all these other people. So it was just very rich on multiple levels
Mm-hmm.
of and then also just multiple themes. You're mixing in, like I said, with the action, the hero stuff, just the classic kind of Marvel things, and then making it hilarious on top of it. um and then the Led Zeppelin song, big Led Zeppelin fan, so that kind of had me right. That was right at the
Gotcha.
beginning when he was all chained up, right?
Yeah.
That was Led Zeppelin, right? Immigrant Song.
I associate that with School of Rock because I'm pretty positive they do that song in School of Rock too.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
that's usually the first thing I think of is School of Rock, and then Thor
Yeah.
Ragnarok.
Okay. But just all those things together, it had me. It had me. So
Nope, I agree.
um
The part I liked the most about it, and like it was the part I liked, but also was frustrated with, is the part where he runs into Hulk on that other planet.
mhm.
Is actually like a small side story of an actual really cool Hulk comic book.
Oh
Called,
shit. Okay.
it's called Planet Hulk and World War Hulk. And what happens is they send Hulk to space because like this whole thing called the Illuminati, which they talk about in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness.
I think
They
Jay-Z's in that, right?
yeah, hove. But yeah, so what happens is the Illuminati consists of Doctor Strange, Professor X, Black Panther, another guy named Black Bolt, and one other person. They're like supposed to be like the world's smartest people in the Marvel universe, and they basically send Bruce Banner to another. Supposed to send him to a planet where he's like supposed to go and like live the rest of his life. It's supposed to be a peaceful planet where he can't get angry because like basically he's a threat to society because pretty much when he gets really pissed off, nobody can really stop him.
A
So
Zen planet,
yeah,
kind of.
and so they send him off to his planet, but something a comet hits his space pod and redirects him into another another galaxy, and he lands onto this war planet. And on this planet, at first, he's actually weak. So like,
Okay.
but he comes in as like a slave, like in the old Roman time. So he's like a slave, like they show in Thor Ragnarok. and he works his way up to being the champion. So it's kind of
Okay.
cool that they incorporated that story a little bit. I wish they really would have just focused on that story as an extra, a different movie. But it's kind of cool that
Yeah.
they put that story in there a little bit where he's like the champion of this other world after he flies off the end of what is it, Avengers 2, if I'm not mistaken, when he flies
Yeah.
into a little ship and just flies off.
Yeah, definitely. It was. I like that part, obviously, because they threw Hulk into the storyline, but they had Gladiator vibes. Oh, some
Mm-hmm.
pretty cool Gladiator vibes in that with was that guy named Korg? Is that the guy's
Yeah,
name?
Korg.
The
Yeah, uh-huh.
Yeah. So like, the in Gladiator, the Russell Crowe kind of had that old guy showing him the ropes of like, you're gonna fight, you're gonna do this, and
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
then yeah, and he finally battles Hulk, and Loki is what a douche, what a
Yeah,
douche, continuing to
absolutely.
be continuing to be a douchebag.
Yep.
But how about Jeff Goldblum in this? Like, I was watching it and I'm like, I just love Jeff Goldblum, and Jeff Goldblum is only ever Jeff Goldblum
In
in everything
everything.
that he's in. And
Everything.
it's not an insult.
No,
It's
it's
like
not.
he's the white Sam Jackson.
Yeah, he's like, yes, 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 yes. So
Yeah.
yeah, he's just
Oh yes. Oh yeah, damn. Yeah.
yeah. The only thing where Jeff Goldblum wasn't Jeff Goldblum was the fly. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he plays that part and I eat it up every time.
Yep.
He's
Same here.
fantastic. And
It,
what's the name of the world? Sakar, right? That was
Sakar, yeah, huh?
Yeah, Sakar. So what I loved about Sakar, other things I can't pronounce is the name of the director, right? You go ahead and do that
Uh
for me.
Taiko Waititi.
Yes, that guy. The way he designed the set was really cool, even though it was like you get introduced to kind of that junky
Yeah.
planet with like just shit everywhere. It was
Uh-huh.
super, it was like colorful and fun to look at, and did kind of look like another world. And
Yeah.
you could tell it wasn't obviously a lot of it was CGI, but then there was a lot of it that was actually like set building and
Mm-hmm.
kind of cool shit like that. So I really that kind of world, it sucked you in, and well, it sucked me, and I felt like he did a really good job of making that like a focal point of the movie, of something like fun to look at,
Yeah. And
and
like
develop.
it felt like at a certain point in time, like kind of like a buddy cop movie, but a really good buddy cop movie with him and the Hulk, and then Tessa
Yeah.
Thompson as the Valkyrie. Like it just felt like it was really well done. Like it was a really well done movie.
Yep. Is he? I heard rumors. Is he doing something with Star Wars? YTD. I think he might be. I think they might have. Is that Star Wars? I think they might have tapped him for something with
I did
Disney's.
hear that. I
Yeah,
thought I heard that.
something within Disney, which is fine because I was such a big fan of Ragnorak after I saw it, and then that's how I learned about him. That's the way I kind of got onto him. So if he's doing so, I'm on board for it. I'm all about it. I don't know if it's like the Mandalorian or something. I just know Disney. I was reading something with
It's
Disney, and he
just
was involved.
it says Taika Waititi to direct, co-write, and co-write a new Star Wars film. So
There you go. All right,
yeah.
cool. Yeah, I
Oh,
think,
it's supposed to
and
be Andor.
yes, yes, okay. Okay,
Yeah.
that is the badass French guy or whatever he is from
Yeah.
Rogue One, but yeah. So that was super cool, and also you mentioned the Valkyrie.
Uh huh.
Forget Natalie Portman. I thought I
Yeah.
loved Natalie Portman.
Yeah. Tessa Thompson is awesome.
Oh my god, she's an alcoholic. I can relate to that. Like, that's fantastic, and she's badass. She can fight. She can drink. She can. I don't know. I fell in love with her. I
Yeah.
think. Yeah, I would like her to put a thing on my neck and zap me.
Yeah, and she's good in, like all the roles she's in. She's I've seen the new Thor movie as well, and both her and Natalie Portman are fantastic in that movie as well.
Yeah, and
So
Natalie Portman looked pretty badass. I haven't seen it yet, but from the trailers, it looks like Natalie Portman's kind of kicking ass in this one too.
yeah, uh-huh. It
Yeah.
was good. I highly recommend it. I put it as number two. I think Thor 3 is still number one.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
it was that good that it's kind of close.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? To Ragnarok. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Because the first one was great. Second one,
Yeah, the second one, like it introduced the Aether Stone, which you needed for the whole Thanos thing, but otherwise it's like, eh,
Yeah,
okay.
3 out of the park,
Hmm.
absolutely out of the park.
And you know
Um,
why three was really, really good? No more of Darcy Lewis.
yeah, useless fucking character.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Did they give her anything to do in the newer Thor here?
Literally, she's in like the first scene of the Thor movie, the new one, and that's it. And I was like, yep, that's exactly the amount of Darcy Lewis we're supposed to have in this movie. I'm
They
okay with
Jar
that.
Jar Binks her ass, man.
Yeah, they
They
did.
Jar Jar Binks her ass
Yeah,
by Sith. You know, Jar Jar Binks kind of had one line. That was it. And then
yeah.
he was out the door.
But she had a really big part in WandaVision, though. So I don't know if you've seen that yet. But she was
No, I did. I saw the first episode. I didn't. Yeah, I haven't finished
okay.
it yet. No.
Yeah, when you get to that, she's in a lot of WandaVision. So I was like, ugh. But then I was like, but her character, it worked out for WandaVision. So I wasn't, you know,
Yeah,
I let it slide.
yeah, that's fine. Yeah,
Yeah,
and she's okay. She's a fine actress. I
yeah,
just the character issue in the
agree.
writing.
Hmm.
Yeah. I mean, so those kind of the big moments that stand out for me. What was, I mean, is there anything that I, glazed over that, I mean, there's more I have that I loved about it, but to this point, to get, kind of anything that I left out.
Uh, no, I'm trying to think. But for the most part, for the first part of the movie, those are all the things that stand out to me too. Um, him and his brother, him and Loki, when they're escaping Sakaar, and
Yeah.
I'm pretty positive this one he's like play dead, and Loki's like, I hate this game, and then he falls
Yeah.
over, and then he throws him.
Yeah. 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 That was good.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was one of those comedic seeds that
Mhm.
kind of made it. That was super funny.
Yeah.
Um, Korg just in general, and then I looked into it after this movie. It seems like everybody fucking loved Korg.
Everybody loved
Like,
Korg.
yeah,
Hmm.
he was great comedic relief
Yep.
for everything. Just everything he said was just a really funny one liner, and just his like little reactions to things, and kind of his super dry, funny.
And I'm
It
sure you
was
know
big.
that it was Taika Waititi who did Korg.
Oh shit, no,
Yeah.
that's
Uh huh.
awesome. Yeah, I would love to. I mean, I know that he's probably gonna get mixed in somewhere along the way because he was such a big fan. But I mean, I felt like he would mix right in with the Guardians of the Galaxy. Like I feel like he
Oh.
was just in that crew. Like
Uh huh.
he'd be great right in that crew with everybody. Just kind of has that personality, that funny kind of superhero type shit.
Yeah. And it's funny because it's the complete opposite of what he was in the comic book. Like in the comic book, Korg is like this serious like warrior that's like on. They introduced Korg in the same thing I was talking about earlier with the Planet of the Hulk thing, Planet Hulk and World War Hulk thing.
Yeah.
So Korg is actually one of Hulk's like generals after Hulk takes over the planet and brings peace to the planet.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Oh,
but
so he does play a bigger role in the Marvel universe than just kind of introducing him in through this.
yeah. Hmm.
Oh, like he has like other shit he does. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool. I guess on on a more serious note, like with the symbolism and everything like that, um to see Thor's hammer kind of get destroyed, that was a huge part of the movie by Hela. Is Hela or Hela, how do you
Hella. Yeah.
pronounce that?
Uh
Hela, yep. So the
huh.
way she destroyed that so easily in the movie, but then going back to when his father was ready to die, and kind of he went in to meet him in that kind of weird world or whatever that was.
Yeah. Uh huh.
And then you saw it a little bit in the Hulk fight when Hulk was smashing him, and then his eyes started lightening up
Yeah.
as he's getting the shit kicked out of him by Hulk. Um, and it's kind of cool just to see the symbolism in that, meaning like he had that hammer, which was like the concentration of his power. Like it wasn't all of
Yeah.
his power, but it was like Thor was synonymous with that hammer. Like you always thought of Thor with the hammer with
Uh,
Mew Mew Mew.
Yeah. It was Mew Mew.
and
Uh huh.
and and then it was like, well, really, it was in you all along. It was
Yeah.
in you all along, and that was kind of his dad's final lesson to him. Was that was in you, and then he became the fucking badass Badass,
Fucking badass.
fucking
So
super
I'm
strong
gonna use
Thor.
something unprofessional in this. I'm gonna go use the restroom real quick. Is that okay?
Yeah, you go ahead, rock
Okay,
that shit,
I'll be
man.
right back.
Rock that scuba, Ben. 142. We're gonna talk a little bit about 142 right now while Ben's in the bathroom. I mean, she is just a nasty little minx, man. I'll tell you what. Whew. Just from the looks, the armor, the badass armor she was wearing. She comes into the scene in this gigantic spaceship, and she has these remote controls on her fists, and they control the guns on the spaceship, and she just lays like 15 dudes to waste right off the bat. Just brrr. Just a bottle of some type of space elixir, some type of, I don't know, space bourbon or something. And she just chugs that shit after she shoots everybody and then just falls off and fell right into my heart. Hey, Ben.
Hey, I
I was
figure
just,
we
I was
can.
just talking.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just talking about 142, just Scrapper 142, the Valkyrie. I was
Oh,
just
gotcha.
letting
Gotcha.
everybody know, just going into more detail about how much I love her. But
I figure we can fill that spot with some sort of fake sponsor.
okay. Yeah. That are the
And then,
ramblings of an
yeah,
insane person. Yeah.
or the
That
ramblings is
works.
perfectly fine. I'm perfectly fine with that. I was just thinking something like, and now for a sponsor, Valtrex. Do-do-do-do-do. And then I don't know. This is the first thing
It
I
would
thought of.
probably work with what I was talking about because if you I'm not far off. We're
Talking
so
about Thor
we're
recognizing the power was deep inside of him.
within. Right. It was always within him the whole time. It wasn't just that hammer. It was not, that was not it. But to see how powerful his sister was in comparison to him before he found it within him, that was pretty shocking to see
Oh
just how
yeah.
strong
You
and
see how
badass
strong
she
she
was.
was? Yeah. Uh-huh.
Was I the only one? Well, fuck, what's her dog's name? I always forget her dog's name. That big ass dog that she had that she rode into kind of battle on, and then
Oh, I
that big
forgot.
wolf thing. But was I the only one that's kind of rooting for that thing? Like I love dogs, and I kind of just didn't want to see that dog get hurt. I was like,
But it's a
I
bad
know,
dog though.
I know it's a bad dog. I know. I didn't want to see that dog get hurt. I was like, all right, well, let him meet a couple people, and then maybe he'll be okay.
Apparently it's called the Fenris Wolf. I don't know. It doesn't look like it
Fenris, yeah,
has.
Fenris. Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Who cleans up his shits? They have to be enormous.
Oh,
You know,
absolutely. It,
yeah,
it would be like Thor, like something of Thor's strength would have to be the thing that cleans it up.
yeah. And he's walking, and they're territorial, pissing all over Asgard. And like
Maybe,
it would be a lot of pee. It would be gallons. It would be like an Olympic-sized swimming pool, just in one little, territorial pee on something.
yeah, that would suck. That would ruin your whole day. Like you were just walking and then something that big comes and decides like, oh, now is the time. And you just happen to be in the way of it. He's like, oh
Yeah.
man, this was not on my bucket list of things that have happened in my
Mm-mm.
life.
And there's a lot to feed it. I feel like, and it eats people. So maybe you're just walking down the street in Asgard and it gets hungry and you just snatch you up. I don't know. I'm just
Yeah,
trying to
no,
think
no,
of
nope, Cameron, nope. Put the leg back.
no.
Put the
Yeah.
oh, you eat the rest of the body. Never mind, just eat the leg too. Never mind, just eat the leg
Yep.
too.
Go ahead. Just eat the guy. Just
Yeah,
eat him.
just eat them. Yeah.
And Scourge, that guy. I love that guy.
Oh yeah.
The guy who became Hela's executioner.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
He immediately saw her and he was just like, yeah, all right, I'm on that team. That's
Yeah.
that's the team I'm on now.
But
but
that's
but
Keith
to
Urban,
see,
right?
so
Not Keith Urban.
yeah, no,
Uh,
not Keith Urban. He's the singer, but he's
that's a country
something
singer.
urban.
Something Urban.
Yeah,
Carl
yeah,
Urban. Carl Urban. That's what it is. Carl Urban.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So to see him, that was another like little side character that I fell in, kind of love with his story,
Yeah.
like Korg and everything. Yeah, was him going from Asgardian to siding with her to then finally just having his like awesome 80s action movie redemption in the end, where he
Yep.
has like the AR-15s or I don't know, I'm not a gun guy, or AK-47s, whatever they were, and he's just like blasting all like the guys and saving everybody so they can escape away in the ship. Like
Uh-huh.
that kind of had me choked up a little bit, I'll be honest, when I saw him.
Children have made you weak. And you froze up on me. This is the portion where I'll fill stuff in. So, speaking of children making you weak, I remember when I first had my daughter at a certain point in time, I was watching this movie about the girls' soccer team. And for some reason,
Okay, there you are.
there you go. There you go.
You're back.
You're back.
You said you were like when I first had my daughter, that was, and then something.
Oh, yeah. I was just filling in space. I don't know whose sound's going to happen when I record it. I assume mine. So,
Yeah, it might be mine too. I don't know. I'm all
yeah.
the way up on the third floor, like fucking annexed up here.
But I was saying children made you weak if you start tearing up at the
Yeah.
redemption scene. But
Yes.
I was saying the same thing. Like I remember when I first had my older daughter, I was watching this thing on HBO, a documentary about the women's soccer team and like their triumphant like victories in the Olympics. And I'm sitting there like, what's happening right now? Why am I just go?
Yeah.
You did it.
You're being a dad does some shit to your brain. It does. You just get more emotional about things you never would get emotional
Oh
about.
man, all the time. I watched this movie
But
with
yeah.
Michael B. Jordan in it called Fruitvale Station.
Mhm.
Typical like black movie where cop ends up killing the black guy. We've seen these all throughout the 80s and 90s type movies, but
And on the news.
yeah, all the time on the news recently.
Yeah.
But once he got shot, he whispers his last breath is, "I have a daughter," and I was like, "I do too." Oh, fuck the police! I do too, and it just got me. I was done. I was tearing up. Oh man.
Yeah, but he's a great actor too.
Oh, he is a fantastic actor.
So he's a great actor. Oh man, I know, man. It does something to you being a parent, and you get it, and you see other parents, and all of a sudden you start to get it because my kids are still pretty young, but it's like other people see you like we're at the beach today, and other people see you lugging all this shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's fucking carrying a wagon filled with a bunch of fucking toys that they're not even gonna play with.
Not at all.
And you're just dragging it through the sand in the fucking hot, just ungodly heat. And then there's like another dad who just kind of, you make eye contact. You don't need to say anything. You're just looking at it and you're just like, yeah, I get it. I get why you're doing that right now. It sucks, doesn't it? Like, it does. It's fucking terrible. Just stand in the water and pretend like I'm not terrified to stand in the water, but I'm terrified to stand in the fucking water. You think I want to be in there? But they want to splash around, and I'm sitting there, and the only thing I'm thinking about is when a shark's gonna rip into my fucking ass.
I'm about to say because your favorite
shark
movie is
attacks,
Jaws, so
yeah. And I'll tell you what, shark attacks in the Northeast this year, off the charts. The most shark attacks. There was like maybe 5 shark attacks in the last 100 years in New York, and there's already been 5. There's already been 5 just this summer. It's grabbing. I don't think any been fatal, but you know what? The great whites go to. I live in Rhode Island. They have to swim right the fuck by our beaches to go to Massachusetts to eat the seals, the harbor seals in Cape Cod. I know they're passing our waters. I know they're there, but you're a dad, so you just got to stand there and try not to look like a bitch in front of your kids.
Man, that's all you can do. That is pretty much it. I totally understand. Luckily, like there's not too much I'm afraid of, but like even if I was, I would never tell them at all whatsoever.
In Arizona, there's a lot of shit to be scared of, man. I don't mean to put fear in you, but you have scorpions, you have poisonous snakes and shit.
I know.
I feel
and I tell you, sometimes I'm like, the first time I saw a scorpion in the house, my wife
fucking in your fucking house, dude,
on the wall, and like,
fuck that.
I have to talk myself into it. So I'm not afraid of them, but I've never dealt with them. So I'm like, I'm talking myself into it. I get a container, and I actually have a great joke about it. I like a whole story I tell as a joke. But I get a container, right? Yep. And as I I try to get the thing in the container, and then I'm going to slide a piece of paper underneath of it.
Yeah.
Get it into the container, flip it over, close it, and then put the thing on the lid. So I get it on the wall. I have it in the container on the wall. I'm sliding it down just a little bit. My wife is she's at the door, like and then And as I slide, she goes, "Oh my god!" She screams like, "What?" It's just like, "It's going to get out." I was like, "It's on the wall. Can you calm down?" Because I thought I lost
She's
it.
gonna fuck you up. Yeah,
Yeah,
she's gonna
exactly.
fuck you up, and it's gonna get out.
Exactly. It's like this thing is brown and it's small, and our rugs are brown. If I don't get it on the small, we've lost it. We might as well burn the
All right,
house
that
down at
was a
that point.
detail I was gonna ask you. Was it small? And you just said it was small. And from what I understand from watching nature shows, that's not a good sign. When they're small, they're poisonous, very
Yeah,
poisonous.
yeah, because they can't control their venom strike or whatever. So,
They
but it was
fuck
like
you up, man.
that big, I think.
Not good.
And
No, nothing good about this.
then I got into the container, I closed the lid, and then my wife's like, "Go." We just moved to the development at the time, the house we were living in. It's like, "Go throw it in one of the dumpsters." Like, you don't want to keep the containers. Like, no, just throw the whole thing. Because I was gonna just
Yep.
let it outside the house and call it a day. And she's like, "No, come back in." I'm like, It'll go somewhere else." Like, but I just left
Yeah.
the container, just chucked it into one of the dumpsters.
God
So
bless you.
yeah,
God bless you. I don't know what I would have done. I don't know, maybe hairspray with a lighter like you do when you're a teenager, and then you burn it, and then you burn the house down, and then you move somewhere where there's not scorpions, maybe.
yeah, man. We also have black widows, and I remember in
Oh
another house
fuck.
we were living in. I walk outside and I look at I see a spider web and I look at it and I was like, "Oh, there's the red hourglass." And I go back
Yep.
inside the house. I said, "Hey, where's the bug spray?" My wife's like, "Why?" I was like, "Just give me the bug spray." She's like, "Why?" It's like, "Just give me the bug spray." And I just go and just spray the shit out of the thing. And I see
Yep.
it like trying to escape, and then I spray it more and it dies. And another time, I'm almost positive it was a wolf spider that was in front of our house.
Yeah.
And similar thing, like I sprayed it and then I put a container over top of it. Just like, just leave the vapors in there. Let this bitch die on its own. I'm not stepping on it because with wolf spiders, if you step on it, the babies, they usually carry the babies on their back, and then the
Oh
babies are
god
like,
damn.
yeah. So I
They
was like,
carry the babies on the fucking back.
yeah. So like, if you step on the mother, sometimes like the babies will just split off, and then like
Jesus Christ.
yeah. So and I think it was a wolf spider. It might not have been, but it was a pretty hairy spider, and it wasn't a tarantula. And the only other thing I
Uh,
can think of out here is a wolf spider. So
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Are they poisonous, or they just
Yeah, I
bite?
think they are. No, I think they're poisonous too.
Mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. Not having that. I am not having that. I grew up in Pennsylvania. I guess we had brown recluses or something like that.
Yeah, that's actually no, that's what it was. I think it was a brown recluse, not a wolf spider. I think it was a brown recluse. Now
Okay.
that you now
We
that you
had
mention it, because
we
it
had
was
those, but I never came across those.
uh-huh.
Um, and I think rattlers and copperheads, but we don't have shit in Rhode Island. Like there's nothing. There's nothing poison. There's no poisonous snakes. There's no poisonous spiders.
Yeah,
Just just sharks.
in Delaware, same thing. I think we had brown recluses, and
Hmm.
then we had very rare rattlesnakes. The only thing I could think of was the black water moccasin in Delaware.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the only
there was
thing.
yeah, I think we
Yeah,
had those, maybe those two. I mean, fucking Delaware and Pennsylvania are connected. So
yeah.
yeah.
So but not many rattlesnakes. That I'm like, I don't think I ever I haven't encountered a rattlesnake out here. Actually, no. Did I? No, I haven't encountered a rattlesnake out here either. Um, but like, I'm pretty positive on the East Coast they don't have many out there. I think they're mostly out here
Yeah, I
in like
mean,
the
yeah,
yeah
I think more when you get like to the mountain areas in
yeah.
Pennsylvania, then you get them, which is kind of, I wasn't far from there. But yeah, fuck all that shit, man. I'm not dealing with that. I'm not dealing.
Oh,
I will be brave in the water, but I don't know if I can be brave if there's a poisonous snake around. My boys are gonna see the bitch come out real quick if that happens.
3 different times I've encountered coyotes just randomly out,
Okay, all right,
like
but
being outside.
as a dog person, I'd be all right with a coyote. I would be, I don't think I'd be all right. It's just a coyote. Kind of a doggish type of a thing.
But they're just big, and like
Yeah, they are
and
big.
usually like if they're actually they always seemed like not like they were friendly, but they didn't seem like they were trying to harm anybody or anything of that sort. But I
Yeah.
just remember um, one time I was at my job and I was playing Pokemon Go at my old job, and I hear some rustling ahead of me, and I'm thinking it's somebody just walking across the street, and I look up, and it's just a coyote just kind of standing in the middle of the road, and I'm just like, okay, yeah, I will,
Yeah.
I will go back to where I need to go. You're right, I shouldn't be here right now.
Yep.
Humblest apologies, sir.
That's it. Yeah, right. I'm not trying to pet them, but
Yeah.
I can where I lived, it was there's a ton of coyotes in Rhode Island that you kind of come across because it's so developed here that there's
Uh-huh.
not much woods for them. So
Yeah.
they'll just be fucking like in the city somewhere. Like
Mm-hmm.
I lived in Warwick, which is Quahog, from the Family Guy,
Gotcha.
and so there was a big ass coyote, fucking huge, like probably 75, because my dog's 75 pounds, so it was about the same size as my dog.
Uh-huh.
And 8:30 in the morning, walking down the sidewalk, big as shit. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
"Wow, that's a big coyote." But the apartment complex I lived in was like it was like a dog apartment complex. So there was a
Uh-huh.
dog park, and everybody lived there pretty much had dogs. And there's stories because it kind of had woods around it,
Mm-hmm.
and like if people would have like their little 10-pound dogs, and if it wasn't on a leash, those motherfuckers just come out of the woods and just
Snatch them
snatch
up,
them.
huh? Yep.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Hmm.
No, thank you.
But um fuck, where were we with Thor? We went off on a side quest there with that. So Thor, Scourge, Hela, the fight scene with Hela at the end was really cool. I like the way that they brought back Heimdall, and
Yeah.
he was cool looking as shit with those
Yeah.
long dreads, and
Uh-huh.
he had the beard, and he kind of looked like he was out there just surviving in the woods and got to save everybody,
Mm-hmm.
which is what went back to what I think you were saying previously, which was he didn't really want to do it. So then they kind of was that when they wrote him kind of a bigger, more
Yeah.
involved or important part. Okay.
Because he didn't want to be in the Marvel movies. I forget why, but I was like, man, like just be excited. You're making a lot of money to be in these movies for the small little scenes you're in. I'm sure you're Idris Elba. I'm pretty positive you didn't like just take no pay cut for this shit.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Yeah.
I was reading an article. We're going on another side thing here. He was a doorman at a comedy club, and he was Dave Chappelle's pot dealer.
Was he really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yep. And they were like asking him about it, and he's like a gentleman. So he was like, oh well, I did some things in the past to make money, while I was trying to come up as an actor. But
That's
yeah,
crazy.
he was a doorman pot dealer for a while. Makes me love him even more.
Oh, I know. He's an interesting person, but he's a fantastic actor. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. He really is like going another bold claim when I was like, yeah, he wasn't in anything until The Office. And then you're like, no, actually, Kareem,
Yeah.
he was in a fucking ton of stuff before that, you idiot.
Yeah. A lot of things.
Yeah, when I first heard him speak in an English accent, it shit blew my mind. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Really?
I didn't know he was English because the first thing I saw him in was like another comic book movie with him and Chris Evans and gosh, I forget the other guy's name now, but it's called The Losers.
Mm-hmm.
And there he just spoken like he had his English like his American accent, so I had no clue that he was actually British at all until
Yeah.
like later on, and I saw him in something else, and he was like, "Well, I was like, wait, what? Hold on, time out. What's
Yeah.
happening?"
Yep. Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
And then I'm drawing a blank. How did it end right now? It
Um.
ended with them like kind of everybody in the ship at the
Yeah,
end.
and then the I forget the name of the monster that Thor was fighting in the beginning
Mhm.
came up and took over all
Yeah.
all of Asgard.
And destroyed. There's just laid the city to waste,
Yeah. Mhm.
killing Hela
Yeah.
as the remaining Asgardians went, kind of went away on the
Floating in
ship.
space. Yep.
Yes, and they said it's not a place, we're a people, and I thought that was very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But have you seen the Avengers movies yet?
No, no, no,
Okay.
no, not the end game, not the fucking stuff leading up to the end game,
Okay. Well, then
none of that shit.
I will say no more.
All right, so then that might lead us into maybe where we're going next a little bit, maybe
Yeah.
possibly with the next film here. So what do you think I should dive into for the next thing?
It's up to you because you mentioned some Star Wars stuff, and so if you want me to watch The Mandalorian, I'll watch it. I haven't watched it yet because I'm like, it's Star Wars, but I heard really good things about both seasons, and I heard that everybody was disappointed with Boba Fett, and they said that Boba Fett was only made in order to give people a little bit of a preview of The Mandalorian season 3.
L- Look, this is listen, and this is coming from a Star Wars fan. I am a Star Wars fan first and foremost. Got
Mhm.
my Empire Strikes Back shirt on. I am
I see.
forever a Star Wars fan. The fan base are the biggest bunch of fucking assholes in the history of any fan base of any film that any genre. It is
Yeah.
they are absolute trash in every sense of the word. And I can say that because I recognize that I'm a Philadelphia Eagles fan.
Oh,
And
and they are just definitely trash.
yeah, that's when
Trash, trash, trash.
people are like, "Oh, you're an Eagles fan." When I'm up here in New England, like, "Oh yeah, you guys are really a bunch of assholes," and I don't even defend it. I'm just like, "Yeah, they're fucking
Yeah.
terrible. They're
Yeah.
awful. I've seen them in person. I've been to games. I fucking
Hmm.
know. I've been to the Spectrum, to the Vet, to the old like days of where there was an actual fucking courtroom where you could get a disorderly conduct or an assault charge, simple assault for getting into a fight at the stadium, and then also go to court and be processed and then be, whatever your sentence was going to be before you even left the game or sobered up. It would all just happen within the stadium, all in one fucking shot. Trash,
Hmm.
absolute trash. Same thing for fucking Star Wars fans. We can dive into it, but it's a cesspool of toxicity.
Yeah.
Um, I like Boba Fett. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great. Not
Okay.
as good as The Mandalorian, but The Mandalorian is some top shelf Star Wars shit.
Yeah.
Very, very good. You know, Obi-Wan, it was fine. It was
Hmm.
really fine. It was just a fine Star Wars thing. It wasn't great. It wasn't shitty. It was just fine. But everybody fucking hates that. Um, so we can do Star Wars. Nobody's gonna be fucking happy with it. Is all I'm saying. Nobody's gonna be happy.
Oh, we can whatever you want to do. Because I would say if you're going to go Marvel route, then from Thor, if you just want to see the continuation, then Endgame would be the next one
Okay.
that you'd want to watch.
Endgame would be okay. So let's do this. We're either gonna start making our way through Mandalorian or Endgame. We'll discuss. We'll kind of go back and forth. We'll kind of leave it a cliffhanger as to where we're gonna pick up next.
I mean,
If we're
Infinity
gonna
War, not Endgame. Thor,
Infinity War, okay,
Infinity War
Infinity War.
first, yeah, then
All right,
Endgame.
so we're
Infinity
either
War,
going
yeah.
Infinity War or we're gonna maybe fuck with the Mandalorian a little bit. But yeah, I gotta think that over a little where we want to go because it's episode 10. So we're gonna go away from Marvel and come back, or do a Star Wars route. We'll discuss.
Gotcha.
We'll consult.
And we'll
Uh,
make it a little more consistently inconsistent.
Consistently inconsistent,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. Maybe every week for a little bit, and then every other. We don't want to.
Yeah.
We're not.
Hmm.
Yeah, we can do that. We can definitely do that. So, and any closing remarks, anything you wanted to kind of wrap up, anything you want to throw in there, like what are you fucking with right now? What is just a random thing you're fucking with? You're watching on TV? Is there anything out there?
If you haven't seen The Boys on Amazon Prime, The
Yep.
Boys is fantastic.
Okay.
Absolutely
I
fantastic.
think I'm seeing a lot of memes using stuff from the boys, I
Oh yeah.
believe.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. Not for your children at all whatsoever.
Okay.
Not for your boys,
Nope.
but
Nope.
fantastic. I'm about to watch that movie Prey, which apparently is about the predator in like
Yeah.
the 1700s.
I did see
Sounds
that.
dumb, but I figure it can't be worse than any of the other newer Predator movies that they put out recently.
Sure.
So
Yep.
I'm just gonna go into it with just
And
high hopes.
for my dog lovers out there, I did read an article today that there is a dog in the prey and he has no acting experience, but he was so good that they wrote more scenes with him in it. So,
Hmm,
which kind of made me go, all right, maybe I'll watch that.
okay.
I want to see him in there, but yeah, no, with me, like I said, we were talking before we were rolling. Lego Masters with Will Arnett is the
Okay.
host. Fantastic. And right now, I think I got one more episode that will wrap up season 2. And I think they're releasing a third season of it, but I'll be up to date, which would be the Wu-Tang Clan American Saga on
Oh, is that
Hulu.
good?
It is fucking awesome.
Okay.
I love if you were a fan of hip hop growing up.
Hmm. I mean, hello,
It
hello,
yeah.
hello, hello.
Wu-Tang.
Okay.
Fucking it's really, really fucking good. RZA is, I think director and writer.
Uh huh.
And so Some parts I can see it kind of stops cold. RZA is he's super smart and super artistic and just very creative. So there's certain times where I feel like he does like a deep dive into his mind
Uh-huh.
of maybe where he's at internally inside of his head, either with music or with something that's happening in the scene.
Okay.
So all of a sudden the story will stop and you just kind of go inside of RZA's mind, whether it's like one part would be his trial when he was his murder trial when he was in Ohio, or attempted murder trial, whatever it was.
Uh-huh.
And then how he writes a beat or something, like his mind as he's making a beat. And so it'll kind of stop and just go into that for like 10 minutes. So if you're just looking for a story and you just want to see action and the story driving, that would bother you because it kind of stops it cold. But if
Gotcha.
you can kind of appreciate the artistic part of that,
Uh-huh.
I think it's interesting, and it kind of adds to
Oh,
the story. So
okay.
that'd be my only thing. Other than that, it's awesome. It's
Oh,
good.
okay.
So if you're Wu-Tang Clan fan, or even just a fan of hip hop at that time, which anybody in their probably 30s, it was the first time in history that you didn't have to go to some store to buy a hip hop album, whatever. It was on the radio. It was mainstreamed for
Yeah.
anybody our age. You
Mhm.
could just turn it on. Kids had it everywhere. So check it out if you like that kind of thing. But that's about it.
Cool.
All
Sounds
right.
good.
Well, there's only one thing to say, and that is fuck me up to the moon.
Fuck me up to the moon. It's been a while since I said that.
Absolutely. We'll be saying it more, maybe.
We will. We will.
Mm-hmm.
We're motivated now. We're
Yep,
motivated
absolutely.
podcasters,
Motivated podcasters. That's
which
it.
is
And
probably the same thing as a motivated actor, at least, but we don't have jobs being waiters. So
yes, no, we don't fuck that shit. All right. Well, episode 10 in the books, man. So we'll see you with episode 11, where they're going to be going down the Star Wars or the Marvel route. And if
and I
anybody,
promise I'll watch the movies.
yes, that's all right. Maybe don't promise too much. We
Oh
don't want
no,
to set
because
people's expectations
if it's
anywhere.
Mandalorian, I got to know what I'm talking about. If it's and if it's the Infinity Wars, I'll rewatch that one again because I think it was a fantastic movie.
Okay. All right. Awesome. So we'll do that. If anybody out there has like an idea or a direction that they're kind of hoping us to go in, just fucking hit us up.
Hit us up.
Instagram, Kareem like Jabbar, at Ben Lewis
That was
Comedy,
comedy.
across all
Oh,
platforms, right? That's
yep.
it. So
Mhm.
yeah, hit us up on it on whatever you could find us on. And we'll work with you and try to do it for you. So thank you for listening, everybody.
Peace.
Peace.